Hello everybody, my name's John, welcome to my channel. We have the 104001 and the 104001 here. The only difference being that this one has the carbon fibre installation. This video is about the front lip, and specifically the fact that on the original you have this lip coming up, and on the carbon fibre one this is completely straight. Now I did not see any problems with this, as we have, if you see on this video, this type of drive shaft here. Let me just move that around so you can see. Drive shaft here, meaning that it can angle up and down, and therefore it wouldn't cause any problems. But then somebody kindly and correctly in the comments said, but what about the steering geometry and the suspension? Because now what will happen is this differential is going to be down flat, where this one is slightly up. And what that means is that all of this suspension is in fact facing upwards. So, as that person was kind enough to call me out, I think it's my duty to put them side by side, turn them on, do some steering, do some accelerating so we can see whether the drive shaft is affected, and then see if there is a difference, see if it does make any difference. Luckily my son's off school at the minute, he's studying, but it means that he can spend 5 minutes on the roof. What we'll do is we'll go round and round in circles and see if the steering circle is in fact different or not. Let's get on. Okay, we're going to be checking the drive shaft now. This is on the original car. So, let's get on. Okay, I made sure that I did some slow motion recording of this and also flexed this up somewhat to see if there was any difference, and it seems absolutely fine. Let's get on to the carbon fibre version. Okay, well they are identical to me. Not having this lip at the front here isn't going to make any difference. If you think about it, that one is actually at more of an acute angle, where this one is actually straightened out a little bit. So I can't see there being any difference anyway. Right, let's get them side by side, I reckon. Okay, here we are. All wheels have been set at 0 degrees with one of these. Okay, make sure we're in shot. And while, yes, the suspension, let's do it like that. The suspension is, these swing arms are facing slightly upwards. It's making absolutely no difference, from what I can see, to the suspension. At all. Everything is just lined up as it should be. I really can't see any difference between them both. Let's turn them on and see if there's any difference with the actual steering, but again it all depends on how it's been set up, doesn't it? They look the same to me. They really do. Welcome back, everybody. Okay, I've cut the video short, a lot shorter than what I intended it to be, for the reason being that I just can't find any differences with these cars. Even with the lip at the front, if anything, because the lip's down, it seems to be handling just as well as the original. I wanted to do a drive comparison between the two, but there's so many variables here, like arms being not exactly at the correct distance on both sides, and just adjustments all the way, even like something down to the shocks not having the same amount of oil in could make a difference between the two. I did run them, I did record some footage, I'll be honest with you, but I can't show you it because it's not useful at all to this video. This video is all about the lip of the car on the Carbon One and whether it makes a difference. Well, unfortunately, when I put the brand new car alongside the slightly used one, yeah, we've beat the crap out of it, but you know, there's no damage on it. This one was much slower. And I don't know if that is out of the box and it's been a problem ever since, because I've always felt, look, with my car, that it looked slower at least than on other channels. This one has got a lot more oomph to it, so I'm going to have to investigate what's going on with this car, whether it is just a dodgy motor, ESC, or what. I may end up swapping the motor and ESC from this one over to this one and vice versa, and see if the problem is transferred across. If it's not, then it's obviously a drivetrain issue. Concerning the lip at the front, I don't think you should be concerned about it. I think the benefits far outweigh the negatives. The car is lighter, as you saw at the start of the video. I put that in there, and that means a little bit more performance and a little longer battery life, which again is no bad thing, is it? If I was going to upgrade to brushless, would I buy that as well? Do you know, I think I would, just because the reduced weight, there's no difference on strength at all, that's for sure. I am going to have to beat the crap out of these shock towers. I mean, the metal ones, we know if they bend, you can almost bend them back into shape, where these ones, if they break, they're broken, aren't they? So I'm going to have to do some jumps and see whether we can get that one to snap. The jump that we did recently with the XLF F17 tyres on this car, one of them went up and hit the wall, and the car went in pretty much like that. So I think that's a good place to start to see whether these shock towers are any good. If the shock tower breaks, obviously you have the originals to put back on, don't you? So it's not the worst thing in the world. So if you bought this, or you're thinking about buying the carbon fibre kit, kick on. If you want to get the 5mm version and make sure that you get a lot sort of stronger, kick on. But then every one of the screws that you put back into the chassis needs to be 3mm longer, because obviously you have to allow for the thicker chassis. And I still personally feel that there needs to be some flex to the chassis. There has to be, or else it's like other sort of times when we've done like complete metal. If you don't have a certain amount of flexibility, all of that energy is going to find the weakest spot, and it's usually the electronics, isn't it, as we know. So there you go. That's the conclusion I can come to for this one, I'm afraid. Nothing more significant than that. So if you like the video, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. I'll catch you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.